Hello, my friends. My name's Ryan Freeman. Welcome to my life. Welcome to this channel. Thank you for tuning in. If you are my regular subscriber, thank you for your continued support. And if you have never subscribed, please click it down below. Click like on this. Share it. You know, my channel grows little by little, but not very fast, unfortunately. Anyways, I thought I would just talk spontaneously about a variety of things. A couple things that I'm thinking about. One is I like talking about ideas. I like talking about what's happening in politics or even history, religion, a wide variety, literature, poetry. I have a lot of interest. But you know what the funny thing is, and I've been doing this YouTube for a little while, and I've been making these videos, and I just come on this camera and I just start talking to you guys. But I think it would be more interesting if I talk to someone. You know, it's like when you play tennis. I mean, you can hit the ball against the wall, and you can pretend there's an audience there. And I know that you guys really are there, and I wouldn't be doing this if you guys weren't there at all. But I think sometimes your ideas are able to be a little more spontaneous and a little more real if there's someone who you're in a dialogue with. Because as I'm just talking to you right now, I'm just rattling off whatever words come to my mind. But if I actually had someone to discuss a topic, then, you know, we can get into some interesting ideas and perhaps debate or agreement or whatever, based on the spontaneity of whatever happens. So I've invited one of my friends, he's a good friend in Japan, to see if he'll be interested. He might not. He's expressed sort of disinclination to sort of go public with his own ideas, but we'll see. If anyone out there is interested in talking to me, I mean, we might not know each other that well, but if you are, please put down in the comments below what you'd like to talk about, maybe a little bit about yourself, and maybe we can exchange emails and set up a time to do a Zoom/YouTube discussion on something interesting. I like talking about things. Sometimes I can be a little bit of an advocate for the devil, and sometimes I do like to debate, but I only do it in the spirit of fun. But I also like to hear other people's ideas, and I like people to challenge my ideas because it helps to pull the best part of it out. And it's not always easy, right, to have your ideas challenged, because you have to sort of do that hard work of reevaluating it, and it's, you know, and it involves your morals sometimes, and, you know, parts of your psychology that you want to leave alone. But it's all for the better of, you know, becoming a little clearer on what's going on inside of you and outside in the world. Some people say your inside and your outside, the internal world and the external world, are two sides of the same coin. But that's for a religious discussion involving metaphysics. See, we can talk about a lot of things. So I'm just going to throw this out there. If you would like to talk about a subject, if you would like to debate with me, you know, we don't have to set it up as a debate. We just have a discussion on a topic. It could be politics, could be a lot of things. I don't know that much about that many things, but I do have a very wide range of interests. And I also think that it's good to look at different points of view. Some people are very angry when someone hosts a person that they don't agree with their viewpoint. They think that you're giving them a platform. Well, first of all, I don't have that big of a platform, so it's not much. And then second of all, I think it's good to hear a wide variety of ideas. In fact, one of the things that I am somewhat disappointed with is the lack of rational, reasonable debate through our mainstream channels. It's like you watch conservative news and they're just throwing softballs to the conservative pundits. They very rarely have debate with someone who's widely against them. Occasionally they do, but very rarely. And the same thing when you watch a more liberal-minded media channel. You know, they're just having doctors or experts or politicians that are just sort of confirming their own ideas. And so what ends up happening is you just have a propaganda machine here, propaganda machine there, propaganda machines everywhere. But I really like sort of not to create conflict or arguments, but I like where the opposite ideas start to come together. And sometimes there's a little bit of fighting, but sometimes you could reach some interesting areas of agreement. And then I think if it's done peacefully, then you have a little bit more respect for the other person simply as a human, not just that person who's on the other side of the fence. Just for my own self, for my own sanity, I look at news on the left. I read, BBC, I listen to NPR, and I think those are pretty much center left or more towards the left side. I'll occasionally watch something from Fox, but it's not really to my taste. I like The Hill, which is maybe center right. I listen to people like Noam Chomsky, who's like really far left, but also people like Jordan Peterson, who's kind of towards the right. And speaking of Jordan Peterson, he thought that society needed both a left and a right, because we do have two halves of our culture that need addressing. You need that conscientious lawgiver that's usually represented by the right. They are very law-abiding and they like justice and they like order, they like tough cops. But you also need that openness, that compassion for all of humanity, so we don't turn into a tyranny, and that's typically for the left. Sometimes these areas bleed through, sometimes these areas are not so easy just to classify, but I like thinking of things more in that old idea of yin and yang. Yin and yang. You might say yang, but it's pronounced yang. The yin being the black part, representing the feminine side, sort of, don't blame me, women, but the Chinese conceptualize the feminine. Not only the Chinese, actually. I think many Western old esoteric ideas as well, as being chaotic and natural and open, and the right side is male and masculine and what have you. So, yeah, maybe that didn't make sense. But we have two sides to life, to nature, to everything, and within ourselves. And I think that it's important to give due homage to both sides of yourself, both the progressive and the conservative, not just leaning all to one side. And we could talk about this forever, because there's so many other parallels, like even thinking and feeling, brain and heart. Do you want to just go only brain and just be this cold, calculated person who experiments on transmissive viruses just for the intellectual pleasure of it, not realizing that you might be endangering the planet, like what probably happened in Wuhan? But that's another topic. Or do you want to have a heart that it be purely heart, where you're just running on emotion and never really having that sort of rational, clear thinking, sort of just as a little backup? I think you want both. And I think in our society, we want both the left and the right, but we want them to sort of work not by trying to kill each other. Conflict is sometimes necessary. You have microorganisms combating within you that leads to your overall health, right? Combat, fighting, conflict is somewhat necessary in this world. But it should be a healthy conflict. It's like two teams. In order to play a game of soccer, in order to play a game of tennis, in order to play a game of chess, you need a little conflict. You need a team white, team black, and the conflict makes the game, makes the drama. Life's a drama. The Hindu said that. Sorry. But you want the players to shake hands. You want the players to recognize that both sides need to be on the board, and that's sort of my point on that. So so if anyone out there wants to have a discussion on something, we can see if there's a topic that we would both be interested in. I have no idea. This could be an experiment that falls and crashes and burns, but you know what? You got to roll the dice. Fortune favors the bold, and yeah, I think it would be an interesting experiment. Thank you for watching this. Please let me know what you think down below. My name's Ryan Freeman. Bye.